Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm in West Bromwich, and today what I thought I'd do is take a walk along the lower part of the high street here in West Bromwich. There's a lot changed along this particular stretch of road now. Back in the day, of course, the high street was one long continuous road that would join the middle part and of course the upper part as well, because the middle part of the high street now has been kind of designated as the Princess Parade and the Duchess Parade. It's not really classed now as the high street as such. So we're going to have a look along the lower high street, which starts near Guns Lane and will take us to the junction of New Street and St Michael Street. So yeah, let's go and have a look. This is where the lower high street begins. We've got John Street just here. Just ahead of me there's Guns Lane, leads on to Guns Village, and just have a quick look down there you can see the Farley clock in Carter's Green. So yeah, this is about where the lower high street begins, and you've got the old Hot Pole pub on the corner, still going. And yeah, we've got a gents hairdressing, and we've got a shuttered shop, a vape shop, and next to that we've got Decoron, the decorating store, and used to be the Oddfellows Arms. And just here we got John Street. Now how many people have said they've been down John Street? Well, seeing as I'm here, we'll have a look, see what's down here, but it ain't what it used to be. Looking at old maps, John Street would have a road that would lead off it called Winkle Street, apparently. I'm looking behind a pub which used to be the Marksman. Look at this here now, hey? All there used to be old houses down here one time. This is what we got down John Street now, just off the high street. And look behind here. This is the Marksman. Used to be known as the Cross Guns. Very old pub. It's now not a pub anymore. Yeah, there's Winkle Street. Tyndall Street would be sort of just ahead of me, but that's all barriered off now due to the expressway. And look at this car park here. Huge car parking space here. We've got a parking meter over there. Yeah, you can see would have been Winkle Street to the left. We would have had Tyndall Street to the right, and the road ahead would have gone on towards Old Meeting Street. But of course the expressway is down there now, so I wouldn't waste your time. There's nothing down here except the car park, which nobody's using. Okay, we've left John Street. Let's make our way up the high street then. Just here, I think, where this Polski sklep shop, mini market. I think it used to be a florist's, I believe. Was it Billingham's? Ideal Employment, this has been here a while. Quick look and see what jobs are available on Ideal Employment. Food operative, a machine operative, a cook. Yeah, not much going on there really. Oh yeah, there's Billingham's Florist over there to the right now. Maybe it's moved now. Hair salon next to there, next to that one. What we got here? Yeah, we've got the Weed Chief. Good old pub, the Weed Chief. Holden's pub. Just over there, Kingston House. Huge building. I don't know what it's been used for these days. But it did used to be the tax office before it moved to Merry Hill, which is near Briley Hill. Just take a look over there, because just behind this frontage here, was the main offices for the Department of Health and Social Security. They've long gone now. They've moved into all the job centres these days, but that used to be the DHSS at one time. Now it's this frontage now. We've got a Turkish barbers, we've got a vape shop, and we've got another Polish store. I mean, I don't know how many vape stores there are down the high street these days. Thought I'd cross and show you Lidl. There used to be a cinema just here ahead of me, but you can check that out on a video that I did not so long back about West Bromwich cinemas. The casino there on the corner, I think it's undergoing some kind of renovation. Not sure if it's still going to be a casino or not, but prior to that it used to be Guest Ford Motors, who'd set up business there in 1922. And just next to it on the corner where it's just Shaftesbury Casino, just behind all the scaffolding poles, it used to be a George Mason store. George Mason's had loads of these general stores, you know, all over the place. At one time they'd have 500 stores, and that one there closed. What was on the corner closed in 1948, and Guest Motors bought the store, and they extended the frontages and created offices. They closed in 1999. Over here is Lidl. Lidl has been there since the early 90s really, but it wasn't actually on this particular part. It used to lie a little way back from the main pavement, and I remember in the early 90s when it opened, I went in, there was not a soul in. Nobody was interested in Lidl back then in those days, late 80s, early 90s, because prior to the Lidl there used to be all a second-hand car lot here, belonging to Ford, Guest Ford. But no, it used to lie back and nobody ever went in. You go in there now, it's absolutely rammed, that Lidl, absolutely rammed. It really is. And it doesn't seem to matter how many supermarkets we have in West Brom, they're always full. Just up the back there you can see some new properties being built. It used to be the site of an old foundry that used to be just off Guns Lane. Yeah, there was an old foundry along there. It's all been cleared now, and you can see there's houses being built down there now. Yeah, we've got the cops there outside Lidl. Not sure if there's anything kicking off. Chemist just there. There's a few shuttered shops there ahead. Some very old buildings here to my right. We'll have a look at those in a second as I go and cross over. Now, just looking at this place here, I've mentioned this before. It's called the West Bromwich Cleaning Centre. You know, it's been here as long as I can remember. Washing machines in there, and you know, there used to be quite a fair few of them back in the day. You still see them around. You think everybody's got a washing machine these days, but it's not always the case. Those frontages there, just above the shops, you can see how old these properties are along that stretch. They're turn of the century stuff. But that West Bromwich Cleaning Centre, I mean, it looks alright. It needs a new board or something. It's been looking like that for some time now. Some new properties over there at the back, because just here, where that barrier was, there used to be a car dealership. We used to deal with Rover cars. Anyway, we're standing in the corner of Temple Street. And how many people have gone down Temple Street lately? Temple Street would lead onto the Tantony Estate before the expressway cut through ahead of it. What we got down here, we've got some more car parking space down here. Look at this. We got car parking here, Temple Street, Frederick Street car park here, with just 3 cars on it. Over there as well, we've got more car parking, and there's 3 or 4 cars parked on there. Loads of new houses just down there ahead on the right. Haven't been down here ever, I don't think, Temple Street. There's Lidl just over there, we just passed that. So what we got down here then? We've got all these new houses, yeah, and what's this road? Frederick Street's here to the left. And I'm not going to go any further because we know the road's closed at the top. As you can see the expressway, but this road would have carried on. It would have joined a road called Tantony Lane, which would then have gone into Tantony itself, and then it would have joined Bernard Street right at the very end of Tantony Lane. Nothing down here again, is there? But I imagine that one time there was plenty of houses down here once. Just here to the left because a new Covenant church. These are all very old buildings just along this stretch of the High Street. There's a Tulip Day nursery there and some old properties next to that. Accountants and solicitors. But there was the new hop pole there on the corner, but that's long gone as a pub these days. Just here you can see opposite side, you can see all these particular row here is another old section of the High Street. Where the Co-op Funeral Care is, that used to be part of the Birmingham Co-op Society. I think it used to sell motor scooters way back. Was it called Perry's? Perry's Motor Scooters, if I remember rightly. There's a pizza shop, a phone shop, dental practice with Polsky on the front. There's another chemist, there's a mini market. Nothing to get too excited about, sadly, with the shops along here. Granddaughter of the Rechabites on the corner. There was anti-alcohol, kind of a religious group. There's Dartmouth Street, which I've filmed a couple of times now. And ahead of me there is Sandwell Road. Again, I've been up there a couple of times. Just here where this used to be the headquarters of the West Bromwich Building Society. It's now up for sale. Looking for offers to buy this place and turn it into flats. There already has been some work being done on it at the rear, but they've stopped work on it for some time now. So yeah, it's up for sale. There it is. There's a for sale board right there. Before that building, it used to be a Baptist church, which had been there for some time, but it had closed in 1971 and it was demolished in 1972. I just kind of vaguely remember it. There used to be a brewery just on the corner here. This office building was the unemployment office and some magistrates' courts. Just looking ahead over there is Highfield's house. We're going to take a look. Yeah, it's Highfield's house. This is where you come to register births and deaths, and people even get married here as well. Yeah, this building, Highfield's house, it was 3 houses, but the council purchased this quite some time now. Was it in the 20s? But the council have owned it since then. It used to be an employment exchange as well in there, and just ahead of me, that small car park, that used to be some tennis courts. Looks very well maintained here, doesn't it? The grass is all nicely cut. Just here where we've got the Shireland Biomedical. All this is relating to colleges again, isn't it? Just there where that wall is with the fencing on top of it. Has been newly installed, I'm sure, to stop people throwing things over the wall, I suspect, but that was part of the West Bromwich Grammar School. I think it's an Islamic centre now. HSBC Bank, used to be Midland Bank. Next to there, where we've got a yellow van in front, that used to be the offices of the Britannic Assurance. Who remembers the Britannic Assurance and the Prudential used to come around your house collecting money for life insurance? But that was the Britannic Assurance building there. In fact, that's a fairly newish building, but prior to that, way back in the day, in the 1930s, it used to be the General Post Office. Okay, just here now we've got Job Centre Plus. big building, but I'm sure many of you will remember that used to be a famous old church, Christ Church, built in 1826. This was probably the decline of the High Street when this particular church was demolished. It had a huge fire in 1979, but instead of trying to rebuild it or repair it, it was just demolished. Many people think this lich gate was something to do with the church, but it wasn't actually. The owners put this memorial gate here, which was erected in 1987. Yeah, so the job centre's been here since the late 80s. This was all a graveyard. Christchurch was such a very dark, foreboding building. Scary place, very dark in there it was at night. We've got the town hall, which has been undergoing some extensive renovation. It looks as though it's almost come to the end. It's all nicely cleaned. Next to it we've got the library. Where I mentioned was the general post office. That closed and it relocated to this new spot here, the general post office. But it's been closed as a post office a long time. It became a pub called the post office, but that didn't last very long either. And that's so I don't know what it is now. I don't really think it's anything now. Yeah, these two rather majestic buildings, the town hall and the public library, have been undergoing some recent renovations. What we got here? Let's take a look. It's called Hope Place, but this used to be the West Bromwich Building Society. You can see it's still etched in the wall, just above the door, with these sculpted faces running above the windows. Oh, the Hope Place now is some kind of charity. Yeah, if you look at these old buildings here, Barclays Bank, and we've got a building next to Barclays Bank, and we've got this one. We've got a bit of a shop front. I don't know what that shop was, but they're getting neglected. I mean, I don't know who the landlords of these buildings are, because there's a window up there that's open. There's nobody in them. Nothing being done to them, and we've got all kinds of foliage and stuff growing out the window ledges. These fine buildings become neglected. Before you know it, the council, I'm thinking, oh, well, I think we try and not get them knocked down. Even the top of Barclays Bank doesn't look particularly in fine order. I can see weeds and stuff growing out one of the balconies above the door. There's plaster coming away from the walls. No, it doesn't look too good. Just here. Everybody knows this used to be an old gas showroom. The original building was bombed during the raids of the 19th of November 1940, and it was rebuilt as a replacement gas showroom. There's nothing there now. I'm guessing they'll probably put some flats on there. Just at the top of here of Lombard Street West, you can see how the new hospital is coming on. Just up the top there where that blue boarding is, and there was a row of houses there to the left. They all got bombed during the Second World War. Again on that night of 19th of November, because the hospital was bombed. The houses got bombed. This got bombed just here. And there's Lombard Street ahead. And that west building there, the corner. Another bank opposite here. This is the TSB. Trustee Savings Bank, it used to be called. I don't really know if this place still opens anymore, Angels. It's called a gentleman's club. But it used to be the pub. I don't know, it was called the Anchor, I think. All along here to my right now, it's all fairly modern. We've got a Polish mini market. We've got a phone shop and a tan factory. All here now is estate agents, an off licence. This is a Polish off licence here, Capital. And this all used to be one huge carpet showroom called Allied Carpets. I remember when that comedian actor Leslie Crowther came to open this store when it got revamped, Allied Carpets, and on the way back from appearing here, he crashed his car on a motorway after leaving this site here in West Bromwich. I don't think it was ever the same after. Just ahead of me now, it's called John and Kebab, but this used to be a church here, funded, I believe, or built by Kenrick and Jefferson, the printing works, which was just here. As you can see, it's all got scaffolding up, as then slowly turning the facade and behind it into luxury apartments. I wonder if they keep the clock. Well, it is grade 2 listed, but even grade 2 listed buildings are generally under threat these days. The pressures on councils and such like to build more and more houses and apartments. Victoria House here on the corner. This particular block, Victoria House, was sold a few years back, and it's claimed to get £145,000 a year in rent. Before it was Victoria House there, it used to be a bank called Martin's Bank, but I'm not sure if anybody remembers that. It's Victoria Street. I'm not sure what used to be up Victoria Street. Did there used to be the headquarters for the Transport and General Workers Union? I think was up there. Okay, I'm just looking ahead here. We've got Astle Park. I don't think Astle Park does much good these days. There is a Marks and Spencer's outlet just to the left, behind this building here. Astle Park, Astle obviously named after the famous West Bromwich Albion striker Jeff Astle. But there's not much going on up there on Astle Park really. I think B&M's probably the most popular shop there. I remember seeing some old photos of opposite Kenrick and Jefferson, the printers. There used to be a clothes shop called the Louvre, and they also used to be a shirt makers. That was just over there where all this Allied Carpet building was. And just further on, towards the end of the Allied Carpets, where the TSB Bank was, there was, I do believe there was a furniture store called Hill and Long. High-Low, I think it was called, it was nicknamed. And they had a pram shop next to that. Windridge's pram shop. Don't see many pram shops today, do you now? But before Astle Park, there was a whole bank of Kenrick and Jefferson offices. They were all demolished in 2002 to create this place. But where you see B&M, and even further back than that, this Kenrick and Jefferson, this printing works, would go right to the rear of Bratt Street. That's how big that factory was at one time. Printers to the world they were. Now look at this place here, just over here, where we got Turkish barbers on the corner. Next to that is the pizza. There's a shuttered shop there with this blue car in front of you. There's a shuttered shop there, Jerk and Grill. But it's above there still. Look, see, all those old frontages. These are real old parts of Lower High Street, West Bromwich. And the paint been painted grey here because I think this was this a gentleman's club or something as well, was converted it to. It's amazing to see that there is still some part of the old High Street left, and this is what the old High Street used to look like. All these row after row of these frontages ahead of me. You can see. Sadly, they're looking a bit neglected. The woodwork looks a bit rotten. There's weeds and that growing out the top of the bay windows. Some of it's had a new roof. This one ahead above me, the Beauty Queen's Cosmetics, that's had a new roof. The roof is sagging here, and it's in a poor state of repair now. But the woodwork is in a poor state, and the Oasis, a #1 night spot. I never remember it being a nightclub. I do remember it being a restaurant, I think. I could be wrong. There's another shuttered shop there. next to the International Food Centre and something called Peppers, and we've got St Michael's Church here, standing dominantly on the corner of St Michael's Street, with its steeple that was added to the church in 1911. Just here we've got Lloyd's Bank, that's an old building there. This is the Wesley Church. This is a newish church, and it was on the site of an older church. Okay, so just at the back of Wesley Church, there's a 1930s building at the rear, Ackrell Memorial Hall, and at the front was the newer part of the Methodist Church, which was built in 1974, and this was a replacement for an old Wesley Church that was here around 1835. There you go. I bet you've never come behind the rear of the Wesley Chapel before. And now you have. Just have a quick look at the frontage. Yeah, there you go. That's the Wesley Methodist Church. Just walk along a little bit further. We got this sculpture here on the plinth, which is this sculpture by Chris Dunseith is dedicated to the 18th century preacher John Wesley. Okay, now you can see that this part of the High Street now is getting a bit busy, because we got the market there in the middle of High Street, where all the corrugated metal there. They're planning to build some apartments. This is called St Michael's Street. It used to have a billiard hall. It was turned into a Wetherspoons pub. It's still a pub. Got the bus station just ahead of me there. I'll just pan you here up there. That's New Street, and the New Square shopping centre's up there, which is effectively condemned Queen's shopping centre. Okay then, folks. So that's the end of our walk along the Lower High Street in West Bromwich. I don't know what you thought of, or what you think of the High Street, but I don't know, I just don't, it doesn't feel particularly a nice experience. I can't exactly pinpoint why I feel a little uncomfortable walking along the High Street, but nevertheless there just doesn't seem anything down here now, does there, in Lower High Street? It just seems to me a place where you register a birth, you register a death, and you go and sign on. That's about all there is really to say about the Lower High Street. It's sad really that the Lower High Street is like it is. We've got a huge building on the corner called the Old West Bromwich Building Society, which is going to be turned into flats eventually. And it was back in the day there were shops along here. It was places you could actually go to and buy stuff. You know, you can't really say you can buy anything from the Lower High Street now. But you know, it's got a couple of banks, and that's about it really. The town hall, I don't know what they do in the town hall these days. The library's still there. Do you still use the library? Well, there you go. So anyway, I hope you liked the video, and if you did, hit the like button and also hit subscribe. Much appreciated if you hit the subscribe button. It keeps the channel alive, and hit the notification bell for future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.